What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm back with a discussion which I have not done in a very long time. And of course, I can't do a discussion without doing the homie Geekdom. So before we jump in, I guess I should explain myself. I've been staying away from spoilers and the discussions for a very long time, mostly because the last 2 months have been really hectic as far as everything was going on with the travel. We had friends coming over, staying, my parents came visit, yada yada. So much was happening. I just kind of took a break from spoilers and have not been keeping up with any Dragon Ball Super news, which is so weird because I kind of been talking about Super for months now. But I'm back, and something I wanted to specifically talk about is the upcoming special. Now, before we start, Geekdom, we're only going to talk about one sort of spoiler in this video, right? Just one small one.
Whatever you want, man. It's your video.
Well,
tell me what you want.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure before I toss out the warning. So there's going to be a slight spoiler warning. There'll be one small thing mentioned, but we're not going to talk about the hardcore details because we don't know. This is just coming from the magazines and the weekly newspapers.
Yeah, the Jump magazines. No, and what you're talking, I know what you mean now. Yeah, we don't know the details of what actually happens. We know some things that are gonna happen. We don't know exactly how they happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I say, hey, in episode so and so, there's gonna be a Kamehameha. That's different than saying, hey, there's going to be a Kamehameha that fires through so-and-so's chest, blows up the universe, everything dies. That's kind of a spoiler. So, we know, a small piece of it, just not the hardcore details. So, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. And if you don't want nothing spoiled, period, then I guess this is your one chance to leave. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So, first things first, we have a 1 hour-long special happening when?
October the 8th weekend.
And that episode is going to feature a fight between Jiren and Goku. Now, here's what we know. Number one, well, we know kind of three things. The first thing we know, there's going to be a new form unveiled, which we right now had deemed the Limit Breaker form. There's no official name for it yet, is there?
No, there's no official name for it, and we don't actually know 100% that we'll see the form in this episode, but it's been heavily teased that we will. Maybe at the end in a cliffhanger, or maybe at the end of 109 going into 110, because the special is basically episodes 109 and 110 put together. So we don't know 100% certainty that we're going to see it, but it seems like we will. How about that?
And by the way, the week prior to that, there's going to be no episode because they're going to focus on the One Piece special that weekend. So keep that in mind. We are going to go a weekend without Super, but then come back with an hour-long special instead, which is, I guess, a good enough balance.
Yeah.
Now, something I want to talk about is the form. So, the Limit Breaker form. Apparently, something terrible happens. And, again, we don't know what the terrible thing is. But the only thing I can think about is there's got to be some kind of elimination of a universe or something. So, one of two things. Potentially, number one, we know that Master Roshi is kind of all over the place. My first theory that came to mind is Master Roshi has to be the one to die. I can see it happen. And if Master Roshi dies, I feel like that could be enough motivation to really pump everybody up to maybe go from point A to point B to allow maybe Goku to go into the form. Or option B, let's say Universe 6 gets destroyed. If Universe 6 gets erased, because we know, well, we don't know, but we assume that we're going to get another rematch between maybe Hit and Universe 11. Let's say Universe 6 gets destroyed. That's also technically a terrible thing, right? Because we just developed a relationship with these people over the course of a whole year and a half worth of episodes. So that could be a terrible thing. Do you have any other theories of what could the terrible thing actually be?
There's a lot of different things it could be, but I think, I've done a lot of videos on my channel recently with several different guests discussing this very topic and different theories that have come about, and they're all pretty solid, and they all involve killing, and I think the most popular one that I think makes the most sense is that at some point, Zeno is going to allow killing. Basically, because we have the episode recently where Zeno allowed Roshi to use the Mafuba jar, which originally was illegal to use objects that are, illegal objects. People are thinking that eventually Zeno, either Frieza or somebody, will kill someone, and Zeno will say, you know what? Let's allow killing. And then if that happens, Hit and Frieza could end up going on a rampage and just boom, 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 just eliminating dudes, and that could be the terrible thing that happens. Or the other theory that a couple friends of mine had come up with is maybe Frieza ends up killing one of the spectators, one of the Supreme Kais, wanting to do something with them.
Or even turn his own universe.
Yeah, well, that could happen maybe soon. I don't know, but anyway, I'm trying not to have to talk about it. Bro.
Right.
But it could be that, or maybe it could actually be the eventual reveal that the Grand Priest has a sinister motive. That could also be the terrible thing, too.
Also possible. So that leads us to the transformation itself. So there's two theories going on right now. Now, there was one. Do you want to quickly summarize the fake one from a couple weeks ago so people don't know that's actually a real thing?
Yeah, the fake one was basically something where the fake spoilers, it's ridiculous. Basically, like Goku gets a new form, Jiren transforms, beats Goku, and then Vegeta beats Jiren. Now, if you've been watching Dragon Ball, you know that's probably not going to happen.
Right.
Ever. But who knows? Maybe someday. But the idea was that Vegeta said that the form is like something like the internal rage of a Saiyan. Essentially, it's the same thing, the same way he described Kale's form. You know, like the true berserker form of a Saiyan.
Right.
And that was just some kid on 2chan just, you know, giving his little idea, his fan fiction. It was definitely not confirmed at all.
Right. So the other theory as far as the transformation is a spirit bomb itself.
Well, the main one is this. Like, the big discussion topic here is, does Goku already have the form going into the tournament, and is he hiding it from Jiren and the others, and, you know, everybody? Or does Goku obtain the form somehow in the tournament because of either, you know, somebody lending him power, teaching him how to do it, or maybe some tragedy happening? That's the big debate here. Does he already know, or does he not know yet?
Before we jump into that, because that's kind of the main topic of this video, to those watching, number one, leave a like on this video because this is a fun discussion so far. And two, I want you guys to give us your prediction for that. Is it a form that he already had? Is it going to reveal out of nowhere? Or is it going to be something that happens because of a trigger moment or something, which I briefly talked about with C-Reacts a couple weeks ago when I did my last discussion. Now, what I think it actually has to do is, so we know the spirit bomb is going to happen, which I don't know how it's going to happen because they're technically in a voided space. And again, this is the part where we don't have the details, which is like, it's kind of a small spoiler that the spirit bomb will be making its appearance in the show. But the question
Toei's not going to tell us everything, bro.
Yeah, but the question is how? They're in a room of void where there's nobody necessarily who'll give them the power for it. And I guess the theory that's going around is the one that you mentioned, how the form itself could have to do with God Key and the spirit bomb. Isn't that what you were talking about before we started recording?
Well, I did an entire freaking video last week about it where we talked about how...
Linked in the description below, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But no, in the video we talked about how, you know, it was Therese made it from the RDBZ Reddit made a joke about how, oh, does Goku absorb the Spirit Bomb, the Genkidama? And of course, that's based on the Super Android 13 movie where he made the Spirit Bomb, absorbed him, and he got really strong. The idea here, of course, is there's a couple of problems. For example, they're fighting in the world of Void, not in the world of the mortals, so he can't really draw power from the trees, the plants, the animals, and the people. So where does he get this energy from? Well, maybe he gets it from the gods. And then I was thinking maybe he's going to pull energy from the gods and create like a god spirit bomb. I remember as a joke about a year ago, and you retweeted this. I tweeted out, I said, this show's going to end with Goku doing a multiversal spirit bomb as a joke, and you retweeted and you said this could happen, and now it actually might happen, but who knows? But I'm thinking him making like a spirit bomb with God Key this time would be like an upgraded version. You know?
Here's a theory that I have in regards to the form. So we know that teaming up kind of can happen in here in regards to like getting rid of a stronger opponent. My theory that I had is what if people realize how strong Jiren actually is once he actually starts getting serious, and they realize this guy is a problem. You know what? Let's kind of help Goku beat this guy, and then we worry about fighting each other. I think we even talked about that a while ago before the tournament even started, how like people could team up and then actually, you know, worry about fighting each other in the end. That could be a potential, you know, thing as well, where it's like everybody just kind of gives Goku the key for the Spirit Bomb so he can defeat Jiren. But I feel like because it's a one shot, and again, going back to what you were saying, since you don't want to just toss the Spirit Bomb and potentially waste it. It could be one of those things where he does absorb it, similar to how he did in the Super Android 13 movie.
I mean, he's got silver eyes, and the Spirit Bomb's kind of silvery, you know?
Yeah,
sort of.
I mean, he also had the key leaking out, which was kind of a mix of, like, blue and... which could also technically be just a God Key itself. Like, so there's, like, so many ways you could go with this as far as what's going to actually happen, which is what makes me so freaking excited about it the more I think about it. But like,
and Toshio himself said that he called the form brilliant. He said Toriyama did a great job with this form. And that the name is brilliant. So that's another one, is we don't even know what it's called. And I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I'm going to say this form is not going to be called Super Saiyan anything. It's going to have a totally different name.
Yeah, and I'm also going to say it's not the Limit Breaker form as well. I mean, I think that it comes down to, like, Mystic versus Ultimate. It's probably going to be known as the Limit Breaker form as far as, you know, the fan base, us. We have, as a community of, you know, the Dragon Ball world, we have several times now named transformations. Mystic.
No, Mystic was the big one. And then Limit Breaker. I think that might have been Opie Senpai from Anime Live Reaction. I think he's the first one to call it that.
Yeah.
I think he was.
Which is because
and
of the song.
That's
That's where that comes from, with the song. And now it's like you see Limit Breaker almost weekly now because of it. But the point is, it's probably not going to call the Limit Breaker form. And for all we know, we might not even get the name for it. I mean, Toshio says he has a name for it, but
we'll get the name for it at some point. Because yeah, if Toshio has the name, we'll get the name.
Yeah.
I think we'll get it.
But the point is it's about to get super excited in the Dragon Ball. I mean, it's already super excited, but like even more excited, no pun intended, as far as this 1 hour long special. So I guess in the comment section below, the couple things I want to toss out there is number one, what do you think is going to be that terrible thing that actually happens? And two, how will Goku achieve this form? Like, what kind of trigger moment will we go through? Will it be something that he's already trained with and practiced in the past? Is it going to be something that happens because someone dies? Or is it just going to be something that happens that he just didn't even expect? Like, oh yeah, just kind of test it out, and here we are now. What do you guys think? Let us know down below. Geekdom, is there anything else we want to talk about before we end this discussion?
The only other thing I wanted to throw in was just the fact that there are a lot of this arc is not close to being over yet because there's a lot of unanswered questions.
A lot.
Like we still have characters that have not been revealed yet.
Yep.
2 from Universe 6, 2 from Universe 4, which I'm not going to spoil in this video.
Yep.
You've been watching this, we already know. And I think that these characters are going to end up being major players down the road, especially the Universe 6 guys, because the Universe 6 secret characters, I think we've already, I mean, it's already been kind of spoiled, but just to be safe, I'm not going to spoil it, just to be courteous.
We don't have to say them,
Yeah, this could be a major implication of things to come with these characters. I mean, we're talking about major, like, lore-building stuff, so I don't think they're going to waste it. I think it's going to actually mean something later on. So even if Goku and Jiren begin their fight, who's to say they won't just eliminate themselves, and then the tournament will continue, or the fight will go on for the remainder of the tournament while other fights go on.
Exactly.
This ain't over yet.
And for all we know, when they actually do reveal those characters, it'll be as anticlimactic as Dr. Rhoda was. Which, by the way, the last question I'm going to end the video with, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, Dr. Rhoda is known as the Doctor. Why? Give us your funnest theories down below.
And what's his secret move that he keeps trying to do that he could never do?
He asked for my hug at. That's what he does. Ladies and gentlemen,
Toriyama's humor.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like rating below. 10 times as hard because this is a exciting discussion, and I'm glad to be back. It's been a good minute. I'm going to bring these back very frequently, every now and then. But for the most part, we kind of covered everything we want to talk about, so just, I guess, let us know down below on everything we discussed. We hope you enjoyed this today. It's been Geekdom and Rhymestyle. We'll see you guys next time.